Yep, MC Hammer's too legit to quit. I'll explain how that plays into today's scope in a second. Too legit to quit. Alright, good afternoon, good evening. This is KL Belvin, and I am, hey, how we doing? Hey, Steph. I am somewhere off the New Jersey Turnpike, I think near exit 7 on my way home to New York. Just leaving Delaware. Had a job interview today because I am looking to relocate from New York to Delaware. And so I had said in my last scope that I was going to discuss the situation with New York City teachers. Hey, how you doing, Nick? Hey, guys. And really, the plight of New York City teachers is such that once you reach a certain level and a certain amount of money, they are not looking to retain you. They're actually looking to get rid of you. And because of tenure, well, yeah, the interview went well. Hopefully they'll invite me back for the second one. I won't know. It's in a totally different field than what I normally do as an educator. But, you know, sometimes change is good. And if that's what's going to help me to relocate, then you make the necessary changes. I'm not scared. This is the reason why we go to school, to give ourselves options, so I'm looking forward to it. But in New York City, this is the start of my 17th year of teaching, and I am what's called excessed, meaning that I am put into a substitute pool because my former principal decided that the numbers of students was declining, so she claimed that they were unable to pay me to be able to continue to work. Okay, with that said, my little one here in the background, with that said, there are over 1,800 excess teachers that are in this substitute pool, and basically we float around from school to school doing nothing. I don't mind who sees this. I don't care who wants to take it back to the higher-ups and all that other stuff. I'm not worried about that, simply because it is a way to get around tenure, and it is a way to attempt to push out of the system senior teachers who have earned that status. The average years of experience of what they call an ATR, absent teacher reserve, is 10 years or more. There are teachers who are ATRs of 28 years, 29 years, who are a year or two short. Yes, that's exactly why teachers are getting out, that are short of 1 or 2 years of retiring, and they just do not want to make that payment because some salaries are in excess of $100,000, average maybe $80,000, $90,000, and they're saying the system can't afford them. Okay, they're actually paying $240 million to the teachers in that pool, but the protection that you would have as a regular teacher is diminished. They actually set the rules up so if you bump your head once or twice, you are gone, where you wouldn't even have to worry about that if you was a regular in a classroom. And sadly, this is part of the system that goes on here in New York City. But other districts around the country are going through similar things, but maybe not as bad as New York. So that's playing into why it's time for me to go. One person told me I should just sit around, take the check, don't stress. It's not what I got into this for. And just sitting around in somebody else's classroom and getting paid to do nothing doesn't work for me. Now, I know some people say, are you crazy? You can think whatever you want. I am no one's substitute. I am no one's teacher's assistant. I got into this game to help educate and to increase and brighten the lives of the students that I work with. When I'm sitting there almost like asking permission, and when you're sitting in a room with someone that you have more education than and more experience than, but can't do anything because this is the position that they put you in, it's like sitting in a classroom with handcuffs. And this is the plight of the New York City educator. And 1,800. Now you'll see reports where many will say it's only 300 or 400. Well, that's what I wanted to do, but unfortunately my passion has long since decreased because they've taken away the opportunity to really enjoy what you do in the classroom. And this is why there's been such a large influx of departures from the New York City school system. Baby doll, what's the matter? My little girl is fussing with my wife. But this is why there's been such a large departure from the New York City Department of Education, because a lot of senior teachers do not feel that the way that they are being treated is fair. Now, some will say, well, the types of money that you're making, why are you complaining? Let me explain something to you. Everyone earns every penny that they get when you work in the New York City system. I work in urban areas that, with some children, that is very difficult. And I love it, but it's very difficult. So we earn every penny. But when you have a system that doesn't respect you and wants to run you out because you earned top dollar, that makes no sense. And then what's crazy is there's vacancies every year, but they do not give those vacancies to the teachers who are in this pool. They give those vacancies to younger teachers coming into the system because they make less, they have no tenure, and so again, we just sit around and do nothing. I've heard of people who have been ATRs now for over 6 years. So you're going to tell me an experienced teacher couldn't find a job in 6 years? This is my first year as an ATR. It's not working for me. So it only hastened my need to go. I was already ready to go after about 2 years ago, but I stuck it out because I was trying to assist the principal I was working with, work for the kids that I was working with, and I just wasn't ready to go. But in the last couple years after what I seen, and at the start of this year right here, it's time to go. It's time to do something different. And that was the whole purpose of traveling down to Delaware last night. Left after we got finished bowling, and then had the interview this afternoon. And it's actually in a whole different area of business. But listen, this is part of what it is. But what I want to say to you guys watching, become active in your community and learn what's going on with the educators in your community. Whether you have children or not, if you have nieces or nephews, make sure that your community is doing everything it can to retain the services of quality educators. If you're living in New York, make sure you go and check and see what your superintendents in your district are doing to the senior teachers in your district. Fight for them, because parents have more power than they realize. And if you stand up and fight, many of you can get some of these teachers retained, because principals do have all the control in New York City schools. It's superintendent, principals, and if they want a teacher out, they're gone. It's just that simple. They want to remove a teacher from the classroom, teachers making too much, because, and I feel for some of the principals, they have to protect their budgets, and I understand it. If you're only given but so much money to run your school, and you have upper level teachers who are making a lot of money, and now you can't get some of the services that you need, you have to find a way to remove those teachers. I understand it. Not that I agree with it, but I understand it. So parents, we need your help. If you know that you have quality educators in the schools that your children are at, you have to be there to fight for us. You have to be that extended voice to what we do, so folks will know what's going on. Mention that you've noticed that 2 or 3 or 4 experienced educators have departed, and you've not been given any reason to why they're no longer teaching your children, and now you have newer teachers and experienced teachers working with the children. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not good educators and won't be good educators. I hope that all the new teachers coming into the system stay in 15, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, and look to retire, because that means they would have taken that time out to learn their craft and help children. But that does not mean you push out the senior teachers that were there before them simply because you don't want to pay them. Who does that? We work, and each year you work to get paid your salary, and if it increases because of what you're doing, okay. I don't understand. And the crazy part is when you travel outside of the United States, other countries treat teachers with such regard, positive regard, such respect. But here, oh my gosh. But this is what we do. So I wanted to bring to light what's going on here in New York City with the New York City educators. If you have friends, family, or you live in New York, reach out. Look to try to say or do something, write letters to the different superintendents asking that certain teachers be retained, brought back to the classroom, because we already know the system is struggling. We already know that children are being hurt by not getting the type of education that we need. We know that the education is changing with the influx of Common Core and other aspects. Senior teachers can adapt to those changes faster. Now, yes, some of us are stubborn, and yes, some need a little nudging because they don't want to let go of older ways. But at the end of the day, if they're quality, they're quality, and they'll adapt, and the kids will benefit from that adaptation. But we have to make sure that they're protected too. Our union, I'm not going to speak negative about the union simply because I'm not sure how much they're fighting for us ATRs, because I have spoken to members of the union who have given me some quality information. I've heard some horror stories, and I've heard some great stories on both sides. So I'm not going to bring the union into this simply because I don't know what their stance is completely. I know what I read, but I can only tell you from my own experiences, it's been 50-50. So I can't really say anything negative about that. But I can say, oh. Drop my phone. I was not driving. I see, I'm not driving. I dropped my phone. I did that before. I had to throw it in and switch it off. But anyway, I can only say the sad part for myself is that when I got the news last June that I was going to be removed, it didn't sit well with me. But I was like, okay, I'll take it like I take everything else. I'll deal with it. I'll find a positive, and I'll go from there. But when I started this year off, and I walked into a school and realized that I'm following someone else's schedule, watching someone else teach, sitting in the classroom as an assistant. Yes, I'm finding the positives in that and doing what I can, bringing what I can to the table, being the professional that I know how to be. But it's not fulfilling. Thank you for the heart. It's not fulfilling. It's not, what I got into this for. So guys, you guys that are watching, fight for your educators in your community. Fight for the educators in your district. Come here, baby doll. Come here. Come here. Come say hello. Come here. Come say hello. Because this is what it's about. Hello. This is what it's about. Because eventually she'll be in someone's classroom. Come here. Say hi. Okay. She wanted to say hello and disappear. That's my darling. That's little KL. K-A-Y-E-L-L-E. So this is what it's about. It's about the children. And we have to protect them because with quality education, that's what's necessary. So again, I hope this has been helpful. I hope that it's been positive for you. Please share. You can slide up, slide down. Okay, excellent. Definitely. I appreciate that. It is so true. And the crazy part, Stephanie, is that I talk to teachers all over. Thank you. Yes, she is. That's her in the background. I talk to teachers all over, and they're all dealing with some form or fashion of senior teachers being removed. Now, a few systems are really embracing senior teachers, but it just doesn't seem like teachers across the country are enjoying themselves like they should inside the classroom. Thank you so much. And I believe that we have to find a way to bring that back, because education is supposed to be entertaining. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be uplifting. A child should enjoy the idea of learning something new. It just seems like something is lost, and when you're removing what seem to be pillars from the system, I don't see it getting better. Now, I could be wrong. Thank you, baby. I could be wrong. Stop, darling. I could be wrong, but, all I could do is what they allow me to do, and I can fight for what I can fight for. But I'm going to change states, and I'm going to look to take my talents to Delaware. I'm going to pull a LeBron. I'm not going to South Beach, but I'm going to go to Delaware and see if I can take my talents to another state. Thank you, darling. And see what I can bring to the table and see what I can do there. The interview I went on today, like I said, is in a whole different area. And we'll see if I'm offered the position or I'm offered an opportunity to come back and interview for the second time. We'll see. It's something that I'm going to think about and pray about on my way home. And when I get home, take some time out and consider if a complete departure from education is what's necessary. Because one of the hardships that I am finding relocating is that many of the districts in Delaware believe that the amount of money that I'm making, I may not want to depart from that to take less to come to their state. And I'm willing to do that. I'm definitely willing to take less because the cost of living is less. But that's all the particulars I can work out once I'm at the table. So my hope is that I'm given the opportunity. And the sad part is when you've done something for so long, when you've done something almost 20 years, it is interesting to be back out in the pursuit of employment when you've been in one particular realm for almost 20 years. Because this is actually year 19, because I did 2 years private school before I started working with the Department of Education. And going on interviews and things like that outside of teaching is different. But it's fun. because it's a way for me to see exactly what my worth is out here. I'm going back to school in January to work on my second master's degree because I want to do more in ministry and do more in counseling, but until then, I still have to work. I still have a family to take care of. I still have a wife to take care of. I still have books to sell. And I'll talk about the books later on in the week. I know I got to talk more about that. But anyway, listen, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this. Let me get ready to jump off. I'm going to run inside this rest stop here and then get ready to get on the highway and head on into Brooklyn. And I will jump back on Periscope to check out other people's scopes. Feel free to share this with your family and friends. And if you have any questions about education, have any questions about anything that's concerning education or anything, reach out to KL Belvin at, thank you so much for the hearts. Reach out at KL Belvin at main office at bravenpublishing.com. That is my email, main office at BRAVIN publishing.com. I am on all social network, Facebook, Facebook, KL Belvin, Twitter, KL Belvin, Google Plus, KL Belvin, of course, here on Periscope, KL Belvin. And my website is www.bravinpublishing.com. I am a 3-time author, as well as my wife and I have published 17 other titles. So we provide literary services for authors. I am a mentor, public speaker, and as I said before, I am an educator. So I wear a lot of hats because if I rely on any one particular one, I might just starve. And I'm not trying to do that. I have some future plans. And as you saw from my gorgeous little girl, come here, girl. Come here, darling. Come here, KL. You want to say bye-bye? Come here. Bye. Well, you gotta come over here and say bye-bye. Come on. Come here, darling. Come on. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. You gotta wave over here and say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Now you see why I wear so many hats. I have to make sure that her future is protected. This is little KL. KAYELLE, and I'm big KL. K period. Okay. Say bye-bye, mommy. Okay, go ahead. Go to mommy. So that is who I have to protect, and I have to protect her future. So when people ask me why I work so much or when do I sleep, sleep is overrated. I'll sleep when I'm rich, because then I'll know I did everything I needed to do to protect her future. So until I'm rich, I'm not worried so much about sleep. I'm worried about making sure I secure all the things that's necessary. So feel free to reach out. I would love to come and speak wherever you need me to speak. I would love to come and teach wherever you need me to teach. If you're in the Delaware area, please reach out. I am an experienced educator who has something to bring to the table to help today's youth. Take care. God bless.
I went to the Wendy's in Trenton.
Hardest thing on Periscope, ending it.